Oh, Policy Genius?
That should be a Policy Genius's tagline. You don't need it until you need it, and then you need it.
I think that's better than what they have now. I like that.
It's a lot of it's in it.
Yeah. I think people will be like, that's clunky, but I mean, it's true. I think, Walt, you're not a drug taker. Q, you neither, really. And even at this point, I'm pretty boring. I don't understand what needs to be. What? Oh, weed is not a drug. Are you kidding me?
Oh, it's not a drug. Okay.
No.
Okay. On whose eyes?
California, Colorado, Washington State, Massachusetts. There's several.
Okay, it's not a drug.
But it's, all right, it's a drug.
Why do you take it then if it's not a drug then?
Well, I guess alcohol's a drug too.
Oh, of course
I'm trying to
it is.
dance. I'm trying to find my way around this.
You're dancing more than Declan did. He's trying to break the news to
I'm
me.
doing a jig and shit over here.
Alcohol is you have to make alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Marijuana is just a plant.
People call alcohol a drug, though. So, yeah, I guess you're right.
It's like, I could see the argument for alcohol. I don't see the argument for marijuana.
The argument that it's not a... You agree with Brian, it's not a drug?
I agree it's not a drug.
Yeah, plant.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the drugs are
Doesn't it do the same effect that a drug does?
What drug is like marijuana?
All of them, I thought.
No.
Yeah. I'm about to tell you about one that is not like marijuana.
They're all fucking bad for you, aren't they?
I don't think so.
You can abuse them, right? I mean, if you can abuse it, it's bad for you.
I feel like it's not a drug if you can't overdose on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like chocolate. You can't really overdose on chocolate.
That's not what Sunday Jeff told me today.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking.
I'm not talking about his dog. I'm talking about.
We're talking about the Halloween show, the little teaser, and there's something that I told him that was going to happen in it, and he was like, "Well, you'll kill him if you give him that much chocolate." And I was like, "Are you serious?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, he can go into toxic shock syndrome."
Mostly because he has a tampon in his ass.
Or what do you? But like, I guess if you have too much sugar, too much sugar can cause a.
Like a diabetic shock?
Yeah, that's what he called it.
Okay.
Yeah. And so,
I'm assuming you're talking about Get 'em. Like, we don't want to name names here. But
so chocolate may very well be a light drug.
I'm willing to put it to the test.
You can get addicted to it, though, right? Can you?
Chocolate?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you can get sugar.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that a drug, though?
So, speaking as a drug taker, I've yet to see, like, the weed story that makes me say, like, fuck that. Like, I would never do that, or I would never try that, or I would never continue to do it.
No, quite the opposite. You're like, weed seems to drive people to just kind of chilling out, right?
To relaxation.
Yeah.
That's the side effect, is relaxation and euphoria.
But I've heard that.
Chill out.
I've read stories, though, where people have gone, like, fucking, like, into, like, fantasy land where they're like having panic attacks because they've OD'd on weed.
Well, they get paranoid if the weed is shit.
No, I'm talking about like they go into like legitimate like panic mode and they can't get out of it.
Really?
It's like an episode, they call it.
From weed?
Yeah, look, I'm telling you, I read stories.
No, I'm
about
not.
it.
I'm not discounting what you.
Mushrooms are natural too, and I would say they're a drug. So maybe my own theory isn't correct.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's not, or it's not a drug.
Let's look up the very strict definition of drug. How about that?
What brings this up anyway, though?
Oh, because I want to. There's this cautionary tale. We'll look up drug in a second. That I don't know how much more serious a cautionary tale can get than this. Now, when you hear about meth, it's always like, well, it's dirty. It's super addictive. You get addicted the first time. It takes your teeth out. It makes you gross. You got scabs all over your whole body. Makes you go psychotic. So if that's not enough, a South Carolina woman gouged her eyes out, her own eyes, during a meth-induced psychotic episode in which she thought she could save the world. And then she got a pair of prosthetic eyeballs that would make her appear more normal to the outside world.
Oh, my God.
She was 20 years old when she ripped them out of her head, squishing them with her hands after snorting and injecting tainted methamphetamine.
Oh, man.
I believe, though, if you read that a dude who smoked too much MJ did that, it still wouldn't make you go, like, I'm stopping the MJ.
Well,
not you, but I'm talking about people who like MJ.
Yeah,
I don't think even that cautionary tale would stop people like, they can't handle their drug.
I think everybody would be like, pretty shocked, and it would be more likely it was dipped in PCP or something to do something like that, to have that sort of episode.
How do you not? How does anybody know it's not dipped in it though?
Well, if you get it in if you buy a pre-rolled joint, then yeah, you don't know. But if you're just buying flour, it's not likely to have been sprayed
Flour.
with.
What's that? A code name for?
Well, that's just like the buds and stuff rather than like vaping or something. And if, so she says the drugs take your fears and beliefs and amplify them. I thought I had to take my eyes out to survive and save the world.
You never heard this story before? My mother told me this story.
Your mom?
Yeah, in the 80s.
What was the drug? It certainly wasn't meth. It had to be something else. Was it
Beer.
weed? Beer?
Yeah.
Really? So we got a peddler sitting at the table. Does your mom know this?
I mean, you just made me want to tear out other people's eyes, but none of my own.
Here's a picture of her with her prosthetic eyes. Hold on, let me blow it up a little bit. I mean, it looks a little weird. It almost looks
doesn't look bad.
like Alien.
Does she have both eyes are gone, or she still?
She ripped them both out.
So she can't see.
She's blind.
Well, let me see, because the microphone was in the way.
Oh, sorry.
One looks kind of normal. The other one does not.
Good, but pretty damn good for gouging
Pretty
your
good.
eyes out. I mean, that's pretty good prosthetic
She
work.
looks not typical of the person that I would think had taken meth and torn her eyes out. That looks like a cheerleading photo.
Yeah, she looks like the all-American girl.
Yeah.
That shows it can happen to anybody,
That's
bro.
it. That's exactly
Your
right.
eyes are your fucking everything.
Everything.
Don't take the chance. It's not worth it.
Based on this alone, I would never do meth. Forget all the other shit. Forget all the other stuff. Just this alone would make me be like, it does what?
Yeah.
Like that crocodile shit that we talked about, where like people's are like wherever they shoot it into them, they go like they get necrosis and shit. And they're all like you can see bones through their skin and shit. You're sitting at the big boys' table. You're gonna have to deal with it, girl. So I guess that's it. That was it. She cried with happiness. I guess you can still cry if you rip your eyes out and squish them.
But yeah, no, all seriousness, you have never heard this as a cautionary tale that like people rip their eyes out from because they don't want to see what they're seeing when they go on these.
No,
these
I never heard
episodes.
that.
Well, that's like acid, right? Like acid or LSD
Yeah,
or PCP.
any of those hallucinatory drugs.
the
They'll make you
hallucinogenics.
think that you're seeing evil.
And that doesn't make you like do like mushrooms, like as an artist,
No, I don't need
right?
it.
Mushrooms?
Yeah, if Walt took some mushrooms, like as an artist, the things he would see.
Ooh, I wonder how that.
But he's already kind of fucked up, so he might see stuff he couldn't handle.
You'd have to super low dose this guy. You
Yeah.
can't be sending Walt on a
I
trip.
went. I mean, I'm 35 years clean.
I must be wrong. I thought I remember a story of you guys on the set of one of Kevin's movies.
What?
And Walt had a couple of drinks.
No.
No, I don't think so.
All right. Maybe I'm just
movie would that
dreaming.
be?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Can't
don't
remember.
I don't
It's
recall.
been my stand-in.
It's giving you a bad rep.
Fanboy stand-in fucking got blottoed.